Alright, good evening. So, based on the thing I posted earlier, I just want to start with the first video. And that's talking about designing a training week. So in the Army, there's a tendency to set up a training week with Monday getting loose again from the weekend. So usually it'll look something like a 5-miler. And then Tuesday, you're feeling a little bit froggier, so you might go with a circuit of some kind. Wednesday, you'll probably start tying a little bit more high intensity work. So Wednesday and Thursday might get more circuits, maybe sprints, and then you might end the week with some kind of like sports PT or rucking. What I found when I was playing around with how do I simultaneously get a soldier faster, stronger, with better endurance, and realistic for the Army lifestyle, because it's one thing in a perfect world when they all get 8 hours of sleep a night, and they're eating great, and they all know how to train, and everyone's motivated, and they can all lift perfectly, and we have all these awesome resources behind us. The reality is that's not how the Army works. By the time Friday hits, everyone's exhausted. And so your training program has to be realistic to the constraints of the job. So something I'm borrowing from, initially read about with Alex Vieda's work in hybrid training, and this really changed the way that I approach training, is the intensity volume chart. Now, for those of you who hated economics in college, I did too, I was terrible at it, but this is really simple and straightforward once you play with it a little bit. All it's saying is that super high intensity movements, so we'll go with Olympic lifting here, or you're hitting a 1 rep max, or you're at the NFL Combine and you're hitting a 40. When you go super high intensity, you can only maintain that for a couple of seconds. Right? You can't do your best ever 40 time for 6 miles, or the guys that win the 100-yard dash in the Olympics would also win the marathon. As you go down towards higher volume, we use a marathon here, by definition it's lower intensity. So a world champion marathon runner's time wouldn't get him anywhere near like high school level track meets, right? So with that understood, and with the goal of trying to increase a soldier's fitness, what I found really helpful was to take this chart and apply it to your training week. So on the bottom, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. By the time Friday hits, between stress and dealing with family issues, dealing with work issues, last minute changes, not getting enough sleep because we wake up at 4 in the morning, you can't support high intensity training anymore. So by Friday, we're at this end of the spectrum. But Monday, when we come back from the weekend, right, instead of a loose 4 or 5 miler, this is a point where your central nervous system is the most rested. You got time to relax, you probably slept, you did something you enjoyed, you got time with family. And so on Monday, we want to hit highest intensity, lowest volume. So that could look something like 50-meter sprints up to 400-meter sprints. And the reason that's important is if you look at an athlete, right? If we only have them do endurance running work, we don't develop speed. And if we don't develop speed, he's going to get really good at being moderate, right? If we only hit part of the spectrum, then make it good at that part, but we need a complete athlete, right? So if Monday you're hitting high intensity sprint work, there's also a great time for plyometrics and Olympic lifting. So Monday, you hit this hard, they're short sets, very high intensity with complete recovery, right? Tuesday happens, and you're fairly rested still. You're not dragging ass yet. You're going to be getting there later in the week, but for the time being, everything's groovy. So this is a great time for heavy lifting. And what I find works really well is if you do lower body work and sprints here, this is a great time for upper body work. Because you get your legs a chance to relax and recover. You're still hitting this heavy. So this is like hitting lifts in the 3 to 5 rep range. And challenging gymnastics movements. So if you're going to do ring work or anything that's hard, this is a great day for it. Now by the time Wednesday comes, it's the middle of the work week, you're hitting hump day, you're a little tired but still have energy. This is an awesome spot for either middle distance intervals And for that, we're looking at stuff like 800s, 1 miles, and it's also a great time for your traditional CrossFit circuits because those are demanding, but they're not overly technical. So that plugs in really well here. So circuits and blending the two of those, right? So you run your 800s and your circuits are part of it. As you get towards the later end of the week, right, that's a better time for your more traditional Army bodyweight training. So if you're going to hit push-up improvement, you're doing hundreds of repetitions. By this point in the week, your central nervous system is slow. And so that's being honest with what your body can do. And then by Friday, that's a great time for rucks and distance runs. And so just to kind of recap what's going on, your goal is to be as real and authentic to the Army as you can in terms of energy levels the job demands, by recognizing that between Monday to Friday, your energy is going to tank. So that by Friday morning, you need like 4 cups of coffee to get out of bed, and you're not really happy to be there. And so we continue to have intensity go down, starting with super high intensity short duration sprints, to the end of the week where you're basically trudging along. Like a ruck pace, you're talking 12 to 15 minute miles. Those are pretty slow. But by doing it this way, you can make sure that you're always hitting these drills at the best time, so you're hitting each one as hard as possible. Because if you hit a ruck on Monday, that's wasting energy. It's going to break you down. Your body has to recover from the impact. And then if you hit sprints again, you're tired. So you can't sprint as well, and you wasted the ruck, which is a low intensity exercise early. So staggering them this way, another good option here is obstacle courses. But this just mental approach, I think it is really helpful and helped me a lot with training my guys. Thanks.